So we are joined today by a long-standing patron and supporter of the Shark Trust, Miranda Krestovnikoff. So thank you for joining us, Miranda.
What's up?
For the people that are listening and watching, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what you do, how you got to where you are now?
So, fundamentally, I'm a diver, of course. I've been diving since I was 18 at university. I'm a wildlife and TV and radio presenter, but specialising in diving. So I presented on BBC Coast and BBC's The One Show, Channel 4 Wreck Detectives, lots and lots of different programmes. And I'm a complete water baby. I just love being underwater. I've got 2 kids, 2 teenagers now who are really excited about their being qualified as divers, and they are now sharing my passion for the underwater world.
Oh my God. And kind of with all of that amazing experiences that you have, do you think that diving can be quite an important way to get people to experience wildlife? Do you think that kind of immersive thing is like one of the effective things to get people involved in like conservation, for example?
I think one of the critical things is with trying to get people to care about wildlife and conservation is to make a connection. If you can actually be with an animal or be with a habitat and experience it, one-to-one, that's the connection that we need to make with people. If you're not in that world, if you don't see a shark, how are you really going to care about them? You can see it on social media, you can watch the telly, but it's actually, if you're in the water with a shark. So my daughter's just learnt to dive. We were in the Red Sea last year and she saw her first oceanic white tip. And that is magical. I mean, I could feel her excitement in the water. And it was quite a long way in the distance, but there's something really quite special about being in the water with these majestic creatures. And I suppose also because we know that numbers are falling, so it's even more special when you actually can see one, because you don't know when you're going to see the next one. So for me, it's all about making connections, and diving's a great way of connecting people with the natural world.
Fantastic. And you're talking about making this connection. Do you have any kind of experiences that you have that just stand out?
Oh, so many. But I'm a UK diver through and through, so I'm very passionate about UK waters. So actually, one of the most amazing shark encounters was just diving with blue sharks, just off the south coast in Cornwall. And I suppose because also I was doing a TV project, and we tried for several years to actually get in the water. We were blown out by the weather one year. I was pregnant the following year. I don't know, something else happened. And it took quite a few years for us actually to get out and go to somewhere where we were going to have at least half a chance of seeing blue sharks. And then there's that sense of expectation. You're sort of sitting on the boat and you're chumming the water and you're not quite sure if the sharks are going to turn up, and you're sort of looking at your watch and the hours are ticking past, and then all of a sudden that magical fin slices through the water and everybody gets really excited. And also there's something really, really special about blue sharks as well. I know it sounds really stupid, they're really blue. It's like every other shark looks sort of silvery and grey, but blue sharks are that beautiful azure blue colour. So just snorkeling in our waters, or off the coast of the UK with blue sharks, one of the most magical experiences.
That sounds amazing. And as you know, so blue sharks are one of the oceanic shark species with these huge migration patterns, like 6,000 miles a year. And oceanic sharks have had a huge reduction, like as you said. So 71% of the populations have declined in the last 50 years, and that is kind of heartbreaking. Can you think of anything that you think can kind of turn the tide for these sharks and make a positive impact for their futures?
Oh gosh, well, so much. I mean, at the end of the day, it's education. We all need to know what's happening. Mind you, I was talking to my kids about this on the way up. We were at the dive show today, and we had a journey up last night, and I was chatting to them about it, and the word really gets out. The kids had quite a lot of knowledge about shark finning and overfishing and the real problems and threats facing sharks today. So word is getting through, but maybe that's just here in the UK, and we need to work actually at the root of the problem. So a lot overseas, and also just where the problem is with massive overfishing. Education, and then and also just the whole thing about shark fin soup and shark finning, surely that's a thing of the past. Why does that still go on? So Sorry, I'm rambling a bit here. I think working with fishing communities and educating people at the root cause of the problem is really important.
Yeah, and I think in terms of that, like with the biggest threat being overfishing, being able to work with fisheries management to get those kind of sustainable fisheries so that populations are healthy, people can experience it, and then when they're diving, you're more likely to see them. Like you said, like with your daughter, you were lucky to see the oceanic whitetip because they have been overfished like massively.
Well, I mean, I think I first dived in the Red Sea 25 years ago, and it was a regular thing that probably most dives that you'd see a shark, whether it was a reef shark or a nurse shark or something like that. And we were out for a week. We did a week a couple of years ago as well, and we're seeing like one shark in the whole week. And that is really, really alarming. I want my children to be able to swim with these majestic apex predators, and they're really hard to find now. So respect for the ocean, and a massive push on the conservation element. Yeah.
And I think with this, it will have a better experience for divers. If there's healthy sharks, it's going to be healthy reefs because of the balance throughout these ecosystems. And where do you think, for people who are new to diving, who want to dive with sharks and kind of have this experience that we've said is so important, where do you think the best places are to do that?
Oh God, well, it depends what species of shark you want to dive with, where you want to go, what your budget is. I mean, obviously, to go and dive with whale sharks is, it's everybody's ultimate experience, isn't it? So I think that's sort of, top of the list. But then going back, if you're based in the UK and you want to go diving, with blue sharks, there are regular trips. It's really accessible. It's not very expensive. You're not getting on a plane. You're doing it in your waters at home. So I think actually sometimes close to home, the experiences can be just as special. So yeah.
No, that's amazing. And is there anything that, like, obviously you've got this huge experience in TV and in radio. Do you think, kind of as social media is growing, TV is growing, people are kind of getting more informed and stuff like that, where do you think kind of the future for TV goes with shark conservation? Do you have any opinions on that?
I guess just, continuing raising awareness, highlighting the plight of these majestic creatures, just because we haven't talked about shark conservation this year on the BBC or whatever doesn't mean that it's something of the past. It's constantly reminding people that these issues are ongoing and giving people something that they can do. Often as a viewer you feel very helpless, don't you? You look at an issue, you see David Attenborough talking about, rainforests being cut down and, sharks disappearing. It's like, what can I do? So actually giving people an action that they can do. So, signing petitions, signing the Shark Trust Pledge, things like that. So you feel like you're involved and you're doing something and you're making a difference. And often it's only a small difference, but, there's the power of the people and the masses. If we're all doing this, we're all doing our bit, then that is very powerful.
So we can do. And then just kind of a nice last question to kind of wrap it up. You said like you love diving with blue sharks, whale sharks and stuff like that. Do you have a favourite shark species?
Oh, crikey. Put me on the spot. I've never been asked what I always ask what my favourite fish is, what my favourite bird is, what's my favourite shark. I don't know, I think probably the first shark that I saw in the wild was a nurse shark. And I remember seeing it and it was sort of sleeping on the coral reef. And I was thinking, and you can get incredibly close to them when they're sleeping, and then they suddenly wake up and they're, oh my God, and disappear off. But I think probably because that's the first shark I ever saw in the wild, it might be nurse sharks. So it's not a very charismatic one to pick, is it? But they're pretty cool, aren't they? So
yeah. So thank you very much for joining us.
That's a pleasure. Have a great time at the dive show.
Thank you very much. That's great.
Hey, I'm Hetty. Thanks for listening to the Shark Trust podcast. Did you know that you can support our work protecting sharks and rays? Here's just some of the ways you can help today. Join our community of passionate shark supporters and gain access to exclusive events and content by becoming a Shark Trust member. You can adopt these incredible animals, directly supporting our conservation efforts and research projects. Make a donation today. Every donation makes a huge difference. Your contribution will go towards funding our vital work all across the world. And finally, Finally, if you want to get more hands-on, you can take part in our citizen science projects. Your data and observations are invaluable to understanding the world of sharks. Together, we can make a difference. Visit our website to find out more and take action today.